Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope all is well with you and yours. What's good, what's good, what's good? So we've got a lot of news going on. We've got Mara Digital actually mined, 713 BTC in May. That's a big number, except that it's a 25% drop versus April. Yeah, April they had 948. So we are paying attention to the rising costs and things like that with regard to the Bitcoin miners that are out there. So pay attention to things like this. 21 Capital is filing for a NASDAQ IPO. That's actually a very big deal. Look up who 21 Capital is. We spoke about them a couple of weeks ago. Go research 21 Capital. Remember, we're trying to do our own research, know our entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's the GMB 3. Pay attention to that. Can't hurt you, can only help you. Can only help you because your first investment is in yourself. That's your first investment. Next up, we've got global capital markets plunging a little bit, just a little bit, came back, right? Global crypto markets dropping a little bit, then coming back, right? And it was after President Trump said, hey, we're not going to, I'm not moving on this 7/9 tariff deadline. So I told you, what do we have on tap? We've got that big BM of a bill. We've got tariffs, right? We still have the Genius Act going on because it left the Senate, came back to the House, and now the House is thinking, well, we have our stable bill. Maybe we'll try to merge the two. And there are a lot of people that don't like the Genius Act. They say it's not strong enough for cryptos. For stablecoins. I take that to heart. And the reason why is because the new regime has their own stablecoin. Pay attention to these things. It could affect your bags. Now, Then you have design software firm Figma confidentially filing for an IPO via Bluebird Exchange, revealing $70 million Bitcoin in holdings, right? $70 million in Bitcoin holdings. Plus, following that, they want to take another $30 million and buy Bitcoin, bringing it to $100 million in Bitcoin holdings. Just saying. You've got a ton of institutions that are saying we're in business and we're going to back up our business by having some Bitcoin in reserve. So as Bitcoin goes up, our normal work will make things rise. But then when Bitcoin goes up, we'll rise some more. It's like a booster rocket or something like that. It's like turbo in a car. That's what it seems to be like. Which is why I look at retail investors and I say, hey, you might want to get on that bandwagon. Starting with doing your own research, knowing your entries and exits, and absolutely investing deliberately. You might want to get on that bandwagon. There's a saying, 50,000 Frenchmen can't be wrong. Just saying. And you've got Bybit launching Bybit EU. What's the significance of Bybit EU? Yeah, it's MiCA compliant. That's the significance. You have global exchanges making big moves all around the world, stepping up their compliance, implementations, all of it. They're not playing games. So other than, exchanges stepping up their offerings, what are banks doing? I still think the banking industry needs to reinvent itself. Will the banking industry go away? No, it'll just reinvent itself. The question is when. And here's the other question. Is it being rewritten for them? Don't believe me? Kraken is a bank. Kraken is a bank. So is the banking industry's rewrite being done for them? And then you've got to say to yourself, does it include any of the current players? because they were all very, very slow to get on the crypto bandwagon. When I say very slow, I mean real slow. Let me give you some perspective. JP Morgan with Jamie Dimon talking all his stuff about Bitcoin and crypto. That company had developed its own. So they're very familiar, have the skill set in-house. So far, they're the only ones. Other banks are playing catch up and they're getting people in and all that kind of stuff. But it's all in reaction to. It's all in reaction. So you have to ask yourself, if you're just reacting, that means you're not a leader. If you're not a leader, then why am I working with you? What does your bank do? What does your bank bring to the table? All banks have normal banking stuff and then they've got investment grades on top of it, right? Why would I come to you if you can't get the simple things right? That's what people are going to start saying. I told you guys last week there was a report out. I forgot who that did it, but you can look in the notes and see. There was a report out, 82% of people with $500,000 and above to invest all want their advisors, their financial advisors, to be well-versed in crypto. Not just know about it, be well-versed. Now that's something. That's more than just a little something. That's something. So yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm just saying to myself, I think exchanges are beginning to say, we'll write the future of banking. Right? They're tied to DeFi. They're tied to, obviously custodian, handling custodial services, working with institutions and individuals alike. You see how that works? And you start to realize that, wow, some of these places are really stepping up their game. If you look at Kraken is a bank that offers obviously custodial services because they're an exchange, but they also offer stock trading because they bought Ninja Trading. And Ninja Trading isn't just some cheesy little platform. Ninja Trading is a full-blown trading platform with an API that comes with a whole big development community. They didn't just buy a stock trading platform. They bought a platform with a growing community. Wow. Mind blown. So yeah, crypto's a bank. I just told you yesterday. The day before yesterday. Who else filed? No, yesterday. Who else filed to become a bank? Circle filed to become a bank. No, and it was Monday night. I went fishing during the day. So yeah, you've got crypto companies looking at the services that they provide and saying, maybe we should file to become a bank. And I just sit there and just go, wow. Things are changing, and I hope people are paying attention because it's a big deal. It's a very big deal, right? Then you've got representatives from 25 central banks, including the ECB, China, Japan. What were they talking about? It was a CBDC forum. That's right. A whole forum talking about CBDCs, and they're all stepping up their games. They're all stepping up their games. They're all talking about how far along they are with developing their CBDC. By far, China's way out in front. Way out in front. They've already processed billions upon billions of dollars in digital transactions using their CBDC. Yeah. They want control. They want control in big ways. So we should absolutely be paying attention to this stuff. Like, no joke, paying attention. Right? And I'm looking at it and I'm just saying to myself, CBDCs to me are a bad thing. CBDCs to me are a bad thing. But I'm also paying attention. The same way I'm paying attention to CBDCs, I'm also paying attention to rules and regulations around stablecoins. Why? Because a country that doesn't do a CBDC might try to implement the core functionality of their CBDC in the stable coins that are pegged to their fiat or operating within their borders. That is a very big deal. I am paying attention to those things. So yeah, it's big. Then you have Katie Hobbs over in Arizona saying no to HB 2749. She vetoed the bill. That would have been the bill that would have Arizona create a crypto reserve based on seized assets. And she said no, citing, volatility concerns, fiscal risks, despite legislative support, but mostly because of local law enforcement. They have issues with it. So she said, nope, dink, get out of here with that. There's some serious ramifications to having a crypto reserve. And everybody's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. When you're a government entity, there is a lot to be considered when you do that. A lot. And I try to get people to pay attention to these things. They're going to affect you. They're going to affect you. Bitcoin miners not mining a lot. That going down. The scarcity of Bitcoin itself. There's a lot going on. ETFs happening. That's right. Grayscale got their ETF flipped from trust to ETF yesterday. Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin. What was that? I forgot what the last one was. It might have been XRP. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let me see. Unicredit, blah, 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 blah. Coinbase, VeChain. And I know I have it. Did we talk about it last night? There it is. So it's ETF approved spot Bitcoin trading. Yeah, it's like the last one is XRP and Cardano. My bad, missed two. So yeah, it's a very big deal. A very big deal. You wonder why I bring you this news, and it's so that you can start to invest in yourself. Start firing on all pistons. Start to understand what's important, what's not important. Start getting used to being able to pick out the pearls of information amongst the cacophony of noise that's out there. Start to connect those dots. That's what we're trying to do. Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. So let me flip this over, get my notes out of the way, and we'll start with this. Markets look pretty decent. Up just a hair, but that's continuing from yesterday, right? So Dow futures up 62 points. S&P futures up 7.75 points. NASDAQ futures up 17.75 points. And this is futures, so we won't know until the market opens, right? Oil up about 0.5 and US 10-year up about 0.034. Again, all things I'm paying attention to because the markets touch each other, play with each other, can move each other. So yes, I pay attention. All right. Not really much going on today except you get ADP unemployment numbers. But tomorrow, remember, Friday is a holiday in the United States. Tomorrow we get initial jobless claims. We get employment reports, the unemployment rate, hourly wages. We get trade deficit. We get S&P final U.S. services PMI, factory orders, ISM services, and Fed speak right there. Pay attention to Fed speak. Because it's going to let us know, are we going to get something during the next FOMC meeting or the one after? And Powell came out swinging yesterday. And he was like, I don't know, you people know this is not my fault. I would have lowered rates, and I've been telling you this. He would have lowered rates a long time ago. But Trump came in, the new regime came in, talking about tariffs. Instead of just calling countries and negotiating, he makes big headlines to move the markets. It was a market manipulation move. Go look it up. He's made $1 billion per month since he's been in office. Increased his personal wealth $1 billion. Shooting commercials for, his products that he's got out there while being president. Check out the new perfume ad. Just saying. Then you got the fear ingredient index down to 63. It was at 64. DeFi Llama. We're looking at some pretty decent stuff, right? Pretty decent stuff. But, it's down a hair to 119 when it was up a hair. It literally just down like 500 grand. $500 million. And you're sitting there, you're kind of like, oh, well, we were at 120 billion in total value lock. Now we're at 119.6. Just saying, pay attention. Bitcoin, like I said, dropped yesterday and came back, right? Definitely came back. So I'm sitting here and I'm going, Bitcoin right now is at 107,699. Not a bad number, but we're still moving sideways. We're still moving sideways. And again, we still have to deal with this big BM of a bill. We still have to deal with tariffs. We still have ETFs coming out. When, I don't know, because I think that's another, manipulation engine. We also still have insurance to worry about. And those people that have insurance and don't have insurance, you know what I'm talking about. Because if you have insurance, your bill went up big. Energy prices have gone up a lot. I'm telling you, there are things you need to pay attention to, and there are reasons why you need to invest. Saving is not enough. Saving is not enough. Besides that, what's the GMB philosophy? Saving is giving your money to somebody else so they can make money off your money. Investing is you making money off your money. That's why you do your own research, you know your entries and exits, and you absolutely invest deliberately. There are reasons why you do these things. That's why. All right. What else do we have going on? Looking at the big board, I see nothing but opportunity. XRP is down significantly. I'd snatch that. I'd snatch ADA. I'd snatch Link. I'd snatch SHIB. I'd snatch Aave. If you're into Solana, that could be a good price, an entry price for you. XLM is another one I wouldn't sleep on. Ton, SUI, HBAR, ETH, BCH, BNB, and BTC. For those of you that like Tron, I don't. But I will say it's been handling more USDT traffic on Tron versus Ethereum. And I will tell you that there could be nefarious reasons. Some of it is real, some of it is meh. But it's moving 5x more USDT on Tron than it is on ETH. Just saying. So do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. We need to do that. We absolutely need to do that. Now, looking at the big board, you can see that the distance between Bitcoin and Ethereum has increased. It's increased to almost 42%. What's that? Yeah. That's because Ethereum hasn't snapped back the way Bitcoin has yet. Notice how I say yet. Then you've got Tether doing all right, but then you have XRP up for the year, but not so great. Which means to me, there's pent up energy in XRP, right? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those kinds of signs that there's pent up energy in a given coin. I'm understanding what that coin's rhythm is. So I understand when I get good news or bad news, and whether or not that coin is in a downswing or upswing, how that news is going to affect that coin. So this is why I do all my own research. I get out there, I dig in, especially with regard to my own portfolio. I report on everything, but then I apply it to my own portfolio to see what kind of macro events, micro events can affect my portfolio. Just saying. So yeah, I'm looking at all that stuff, but you know what I really want to do? Let's take a look at the losers, right? All right, so losers, it stops right there. So the only one that I'm going to pay attention to is Algorand being down 6.13%. It's got a GMB X factor of 19.27. I haven't touched Algorand in years. I haven't played with Algorand in years, and that's a shame because Algorand's fast and it's cheap. It's fast and it's cheap. I know some people play around with movement. It's down 6.27% with a GMB X factor of 7.63. I would not be able to tell you anything about movement. I don't follow it. I do not follow it. And I have no reason to follow it. Just saying. Let's take a look at the winners. All right. And winners go stop right there. Arbitrum up another nice little bump, 5.21% with a GMB X factor of 5.97. I think Arbitrum's going to do well. Pudgy Penguins is up 5.4% with a GMB X factor of 3.61. It's one of those meme coins that I believe is going to do well. The rest of this stuff, no idea. Not touching it, not following it. Everybody else is just moving sideways. See that? There's nothing going on. Everybody moving sideways. This is why we have the GMB X factor, so we can kind of understand how much does it take, how much risk is there for it. You know, we can say this is how much it'll have to go to get to its all-time high, just to its all-time high. And what are the risks? And I can start putting in risk numbers and coming up with numbers to figure out, should I invest in this over that? That's why I invented the GMB X factor. It's why I did it. It's another number for me to be able to hone in on a coin. How far away are you from your all-time high? And then I can easily compare that distance to another coin's distance to see which one I like. You want to know where I really use it? When I'm within the same space. So if I'm looking at D pins, if I'm looking at RWA, if I'm looking at whatever it is, I can compare within that sector. I can compare and contrast within that sector. And then something else, one of the other reasons why I do so much research is because not only do I have the numbers, but I'm also going to be able to pay attention to who's hot on the market, who's out there marketing their platform that much. Just saying. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmanbag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about this community, because we're the only one acutely focused on helping each other grow their bags. This is Eddie J on crypto for growmanbag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. I'll be back tonight for the crypto overflow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget to invest in yourself today.